Welcome to Countryside Knitting. My name is Merete, and as always I introduce this alone. The first time we did this in English we actually were together, because there is another one, and that is Janne. She will have to make her own recording and send to me, and we will put it together. I'm sorry that we don't have the English version as our priority number one. When we have met the last times, we have had so much to do that we have just made the Norwegian together and then done like this for the English version, and I hope that's okay with you. So I think now I will just talk a little bit about the cows that we have, and then you will meet Janne, and then you will meet me again. Countryside knitting is mostly about knitting, but there may be a lot of crochet also, especially when Janne shows what she's doing. We come to you from Norway, and this is a farm, and I usually have some photos from the area around here, from our animals and the fjord and the landscape, because it seems like you enjoy it, and I enjoy it too. For the time I have a little bit of difficulty with my knitting because I have injured my hand, but I do as much as I can. That's not much, but that's at least something, and I will show you something today. But first of all, I want to say what kind of things we organize. So we have now actually 4 knit-alongs, and one of them is about to end and the others are 1 month into, and I have a completely new one. First of all, we have the Lysning shawl. That's a design by Skaner Knits. I guess you know Skaner Knits, and if you don't, you should look her up on YouTube. This is a small version of her shawl. If you look very closely, you can see kind of mistake. I can see it every time when I watch it. Just that's how it is, you know. We're not supposed to talk about our mistakes. This is a very nice shawl. It can be a lot bigger than this. It's a cowl that we have talked about a lot, and it's until the 23rd of June. It's a real quick knit, so if you are a quick knitter and if you start today, I guess you will finish if you really want to, and if you have 2 working hands. So this is one of them. We also have threads in our Ravelry group, and we have Facebook groups for all these knit-alongs, and you will find all this information and links in the text below the video. We have a knit-along that I guess you will find some patterns in English. I should have checked, but this is mainly focused for our Norwegian viewers, I think. But if you find the patterns, you are very welcome to join. This is until the end of September, that we knit from 2 Norwegian experienced designers, and their names are Kari Hestnes. She has a lot of books, a lot of designs, and you will have to check her out in the links below. And Tove Fevang, this is one of her books. This is about crochet and Tunisian crochet. Because of my hand, I have not completed anything from these during the knit-along. I have started to work on a shawl, but I have to stop because my gauge is so different. I don't know if it will be okay, but you will see more from this when Janne turns up. And we have a Commebornia knit-along. And so some of the knit-alongs that we have are connected to people who are YouTubers and designers. And Sofia Commeborn has a lot of nice designs, and she had a birthday. She turned 50, and we were some podcasters who made greeting. I guess maybe you've seen it. I can link to it below also. And this is maybe her most famous pattern. This is Trondheim mitten, or the start of it at least. You can knit anything from Sophia's designs, and this will run until the middle of October. We are moving a little bit but I will talk more about that later. You have the whole summer and a little bit more. So please look up our Facebook group and knit something from Sophia. All of our patterns are available in English and Swedish. And my newest cal was something I came up with for several reasons. And the one reason, the most obvious reason, was that I have talked about that shawl many times. So if you have watched the previous episodes, you have seen me showing you this Jimi knits. I bought it when she was in Orkanger. This is volume 1, and I really enjoyed the shawl that is called Aggregate, and you can see this is Jimi, or Jimenez, and this is the shawl. I really love to knit shawl, as you may have noticed. Because of my hand now, I can only knit garter stitch without having any pain. So this shawl is now perfect for me, and I thought, when this is so perfect, it is garter stitch, easy, but it's with the German short rows that makes it a lot more exciting, and the expression of the shawl is amazing. And I thought, now when I have to only knit things like this, I can maybe knit more shawls, and I can make it into a knit along at the same time. And I had planned on knitting this anyway, so that is why I have started an Aggregate cal, and I have a hashtag on YouTube, Instagram. I have a Facebook group that I try to do both in English and Norwegian, and I have threads on my Ravelry group, Strikk på landet. Problem with the Ravelry group is that we called it a Norwegian name, and then I added the countryside knitting, but you will find it in the links below. It is with DK yarn. I was going to talk about this later. I will talk about it later. It's now Janne's turn, I think. So just please join the cal, that would be very nice. And now you will meet Janne, and I will save the... I don't have so much. So you will be meeting Janne for the longest time, I think, this episode, and then a little bit with me at the end. So here you go, Janne.
Thanks, Merete. I am sitting in my second floor at home, and I will show you something that I have been doing. I have not some finished project, but I have a lot of project when I am knitting on. And I have lots of books here. I have to take some away, so I have to manage to sit down in my place. But if you see, it's not more project. It's been I have done something finish. This is a washcloth. So I've been crochet from corner to corner. It's a leftover yarn. So that's finished. And I have been knitting on a new top. That's a summer sweater with short arms. This is from a Norwegian pattern. It's Hansgarden, and it is also a yarn from Sandnes. This is cotton, and I think I made one of these last year, and I love it because I use it a lot, and now I have to I want to have another color. So I have knit a lot on it, but it's not finished. I have some yarn left, so I should use. And I have knitted on a new jacket. It's hverdagsjakka from Pinneguri. That's Merete. When I showed this to Merete, she said, "Oh, that's not fine." This is kid silk from Drops. I think I have the there. That's from Drops, and it's color 32. So, and it's sheep. It's wool from the small sheep, and I knit they together in this jacket. And I love this. Oh, it's great. And you see, it's brown and it's strawberry. I think the color called strawberry. And I love this, but I don't knit it just like it says in the pattern, because I am knitting with the yarn over when I increase in the shoulder. So I think this will be very cool. Crazy, but I love something crazy. And I am doing a whip. I have a whip or UFO, and this is a short from when I am doing brioche. This is baby merino from Drops, and it's kid silk from Drops. I knit them together. So this is a baby merino I have dyed by myself, and this is the kid silk, and I love this. So I knit a lot of this scarf. So I have it in my bag when I am traveling, in my small bag, and I knit something bit of that and on the ferry. I use lots of them in the ferry. And I am knitting a blanket from Tove Fevang. And this is the blanket. I crochet it together when I have to take off bits of this in my plastic bag. I have crochet a lot yesterday, and I have made some small pieces. So I crochet they in pieces, because I take a small one, I make this, and a little bigger one, I take this, and a bigger one, I take this. So I have a lot of scrap yarn in these sides. It's DK, GK, I wonder if it's called. And so now I have to crochet it together in the next around this. So this I am being crochet. It's been just yes, it's growing, and it's growing. And I like a blanket like this. I love the color. I love lots of color. I just love it. So that's what I am doing right now. And I have to take a new bag from my UFO to knit. And I am thinking then I am take, this is a knitting bag. I will take this. This is a knitting bag. It will be like this. See, it should be like this, and I will knit it together. So I think I made a blanket of it. I just wait. I don't know. But I have mittens, I think. Here I have mittens. Yes, I have mittens. And I have made this from double yarn. It's a pattern I have from Rauma. Yes, from Rauma. And they are good, thin mittens. So maybe I do finished some of that, and I have to finish some more before I started on a new thing. So that's what I am doing now, and you will see what Merete is doing on her project. Bye!
As I said, I don't have many things to show you, and that is because I had to put away all my ongoing works in progress, and that's quite a lot. Because when I fell in the stairs and with my hands filled with the computer, phone and everything, and instead of letting that go, protecting myself, I protect the computer and then hurt myself. I have still 5 more weeks with this. My gauge is so completely off. I just had to put the other things away and start to do something new. Well, that was not, that was okay. So I have now finished my second Treasures from the Forest. That is a design by Knitography, Patricia. And I had knitted now very recently, and I have shown it to you, and then I started another one. So I have made another one, and right now I have it out on the floor blocking. That was actually quite difficult with one hand and one elbow, but I managed. But I cannot show it to you because it's there and it's getting dry, and I will show it to you next time. But just in case you haven't seen the Treasures from the Forest, you can. I have the first one that I made with me. This is what it looks like. I really liked it. I liked both the texture and the simple garter stitch part, and I really liked the way Patricia tells about this is kind of a story that goes with the pattern, and you should check her out on YouTube, Knitography, and to listen to those stories. This is easy, and for me it was the first part really easy. With my hand like this I could knit the garter stitch, and when I started to find treasures in the forest, 1 and then 2 and 3, and then at the end I had 11 of these going on. There were a lot of purling, and that was more difficult, so I had to do it quite slowly, but I actually managed to finish, and I really look forward to showing you. And I have made it in light pink finull. It's the same yarn that I use for the other shawl. I really like this. This is Rauma garn. It's a factory or a mill quite close to me, and it's 100% wool, and it is not a superwash. It is 175 meters for 50 grams. And they have come with a lot of new colors, and but this is not finull. This is rowan tweed. So so the only finished project I have is not with me because of the blocking. And then I have one thing that I'm working on and I have to kind of put the brakes on, because I can feel sometimes that I knit too much. So people warn me, saying I just have to be careful. So this is my Aggregate shawl by, if you have forgot, Jimi knits in this book, and it's all also in Ravelry. This is what it's like right now. As you can see, I have done more on this side than this side, because you work short rows on one side at a time, and then you have this nice kind of, I don't know how to say that in English, but it looks like marble in a way. And when I do this, first of all, we have a tutorial on how to do the German short rows. It is with the Norwegian text in a way, but you don't need to understand the text. You can just watch what Janne does. I can put a link in the text below. So you work your short rows, so you will then have this, yeah, what can I say? That's when it looks like this. And to be sure that I know exactly where I turned and how many times I've turned, I have used stitch markers to be sure that I count correctly, especially now because I feel my head is not always with me. So I'm now going to work with this color, and then I will have the balance again, because right now I have more on this side. I increase and increase, so it gets slowlier to get to the end of the row. But this is a really nice and easy knit. It is not difficult, but you have to know how to make the turns without making holes, and that is what Janne shows you in the tutorial. I think I did one mistake. You know, we're always going to talk about our mistakes, but I don't think it's really very visible, and with my hand now, I don't want to rip out. So I just did a little bit of fixing, and now it's okay. So I hope that you also would like to knit this. I think it's 260 finished shawls in Ravelry, so you can have a look what colors others have used, what kind of yarns they have used, and I think you don't need to have the same like the DK weight. You can use thinner or you can use thicker, but then you will have to remember that the size will be different. So if you want the size, you have to go with a yarn that is a good alternative. But I really like this, and I would like to knit and knit and knit and knit like I used to, but it's a bit slow. I really like these colors. This is some of the new Fienul colors, and Raima has started to dye on a grey base, so they are a little bit, what's it called, heathered? Is that the word? This is, I think this is actually the color that Patricia used for her forest path, if it's American. It's the color number 4130. And then I have very much lighter, because I think this shawl is nicest with good contrast. So this is number 4136. Yeah, that was all I had to show you that I'm working on. I usually work on a lot of projects, but at the moment I don't. But I have something else to show you, because I was so lucky that I won the prize in the Forest Path Hap Cal, because, and I'm sorry for the noise, that's my father-in-law working in the garden. A lot of the designers that were the guests in Orkanger, oh, sorry, that was the perfect timing, you know, for the cutting the grass. The designers, I think I'll take a break, just 1 minute. And what I tried to say when I said just wait a minute was this. And now I'm afraid it has been more than a minute because I had to do this recording again some hours later because my first try was with too much sounds behind me. I now want to show you some of the free patterns that I have been given because of this prize. So I woke up, I think it's a week ago, and I had messages from a lot of the designers that were at Organger at the tea party, and they had donated prizes for that cow. And I just went straight into Ravelry, and that was so much fun to look through all their designs and to choose one. So lucky me, I think I could just start with Jimi again. First of all, I looked through this book, Jimi Volume 1, so that I knew exactly what patterns was in there. Because they are also in Ravelry. And then I decided, there were a lot of nice things, but I decided to get the cherry ginger ale, and that is a cardigan, kimono. Don't know how to pronounce that word. It is an open cardigan with drop shoulder, bracelet length sleeves, and it is also in green in these photos, and that was especially the green one I really fell in love with. There's a texture, it's a bit romantic, it's open, it's like I think this would be really a nice perfect project for me when my hand is better. So I put it in a pile of things I want to knit. And there was more, so I could choose one of Ninja Chicken's designs. That is Maria Mascarella. She has a podcast, and I have been talking about her a lot of times because I am knitting the seer, and that has stopped. It will be back again when I can finish all my projects. That was a cloak, but this time I decided on a shawl, not surprisingly maybe, and the name is Delight. This is what it looks like. It's supposed to be like raindrops, I think. It's a way of slipping the threads. I have never seen that method before. That would be really exciting to try. So Delight shawl by Ninja Chicken. And running yarn, Marianne from Bern in Switzerland, and she actually knows how to speak Swedish, so we can communicate in my language even. She has some nice cals. I had two there that I tried to decide what to choose, so I chose First Snowfall neck warmer, a cowl. I think this will be perfect in Finer, for instance. Oh, I'll see. Stranded knitting I cannot do right now. I put it in the pile. And then I had a sock pattern because one of the others that I could choose a pattern from was Charlotte Stone. I also interviewed some of these in my Tea Party episode. And she's called Stone Knits in Ravelry, and I decided on Lucky Sunflower socks, and they look like this. And a couple of weeks ago I had bought one of her other socks, and I thought this would be a nice moment to show it, and that was the blooming lavender socks, and they look like this. I love lavender, and outside of Elhuset and outside of Hansgarden we have a lot of lavender, and there will be more. And Marina Skua sent me a message. I could choose between her designs, and I decided on a hat called Spin Hat. This hat could be to all the members of my family. I look forward to do that, but stranded knitting, I cannot do it at the moment. And then Sofia Kammerborn I have almost all of her patterns. I think actually right now I have all. But then 2 weeks ago I had not bought the Trondheim pattern, the hat. I had bought a mitten like this, but not the hat. So I bought the hat. I didn't bought the hat, I got the hat pattern as a part of the price. I think it's a little bit difficult with 3 threads at the same time, so I may try to do this with only 2 colors, and or maybe I will embroider something at the end. I will just have to try a little bit on that. So I am very happy, and there are even more coming. So Matrushka makes, thank you for drawing me, or that was by random, but I just I'm a very happy receiver of all those good things. And there is, I will get something from Patricia's shop. I could wish something for with a value of $20, and that is high brown berry. That was her part of the cal, and there was a little bit more waiting, so I will show it when it arrives. I think I have mentioned everyone, and I would recommend you to join the cal, to look up Jimi Knit's Facebook page, and to watch Fruity Knitting episode 11, and to watch the Fruity Knitting, the latest episode where they had their, was it number 100? I should have checked. I had a look again at episode 11 where Jimi Knits was the guest, and then I realized I think that was the very first episode I ever saw of Fruity Knitting. So I remembered that I had seen it before, but I didn't I had forgot. So when I met Jimi, I didn't realize that was the same designer that I had watched on Fruity Knitting. They have had a lot of interviews with designers, so I recommend you to look that up. And please join me in the cal. And that is all for today. I think I have dyed some yarn. I will show you in the next episode. There will be another episode in 1 week. So have a nice time. Who are you, and how do you? How was your time in Orkanger?
I'm Jimi, or known as Jimi Knits. I'm a designer, and I've come to Norway to enjoy the experience of the culture, the knitting, the history, and the entertainment and everything else that goes with it, and the yarn, of course.
And you've been to museums and spinneries?
Yes, we've been to a couple of mills, and I've learned a lot about raising sheep and understanding what goes into the conservation of certain breeds and things like that, and the preservation of breeds, and the old traditions as well of making things and crafting.
And you have a crafter's room, or what you call it?
A maker's lounge.
And I think that, are you working on something secretly up there?
No,
okay.
I just decided that I wanted to just try my hand at different things, so, because we could do sewing, we could do spinning, and tap into each and our different skills and get advice from each other and things like that. So I'm just working on a pair of slippers and using the fleece that Patricia had brought in, and I'm thrumming my slippers with the fleece.
And you have your own design, I guess?
Yes, this is my design. This is called Capel Cross. It's a pattern that's out already. It's out now, and this is knitted in Husvald, tinder. Yeah. Yeah.
So you know about the Norwegian yarn already?
And I say I live in this because it's so warm and it's so light. It's so lightweight. I don't feel, it's not too heavy, and I don't feel overwhelmed with it. So, and it just keeps me warm. Yeah.
The others I interviewed were talking about that to meet the Instagram, the YouTube, Ravelry people in real life.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy it?
Oh yes. I mean, a lot of people. I mean, I must admit that I've not really had an opportunity to look at their podcasts or anything. So because I just don't, I'm too busy knitting. So you know, now that I know them in person, I will be making an effort.
Then you have a busy time ahead. And now you're going to prepare for the tea party, and I will have my breakfast.
Yes,
so
thank you.
Thank you very much for having the time to talk to me.
No worries, thanks.
Thank
Cheers.
you.